So it's clear no one is going to be immune to the impact of tariffs on either side of the border, or it seems globally. CB24's Beatrice Vaisman live this morning talking to commuters outside Union Station with their reaction. But you're not just talking to commuters today, Beatrice.
We're not. You know, it's interesting seeing a lot of the business people arriving here in the downtown core, construction workers. These are all people across all industries that are going to be impacted by these tariffs. Every single person on both sides of the border will be. So let's find out how it's going to impact workers. I want to bring in Lana Payne. She's the Unifor national president. She's been involved in some of the discussions about how this country is going to be navigating this and responding as well. Lana, thanks so much for making time for CP24. We're past the point of if, we're past the point of when. The time is here now. And so what do you say to workers this morning?
Yeah, it was not unexpected to get into this place. Obviously, President Trump has been threatening tariffs for many, many weeks now, and Canadians and Canadian workers have been subjected to this kind of economic warfare for many weeks. And so what we have been saying to our members and to workers everywhere is that we must retaliate and retaliate hard in order to protect Canadian jobs and the Canadian economy. And we must use every lever that we have at all levels of government to make sure that we are protecting workers and those jobs. And there is a lot that we can do here.
Talk to me about what can be done to protect, I think it was 120,000 of Unifor workers in the auto sector, in the aerospace sector who are going to be impacted by this. When you say that times ahead are tough, what does that look like today, tomorrow, next week for these workers?
Yeah, it's absolutely the uncertainty. It is whether or not the auto industry can withstand these tariffs. Industry experts are already saying that, you know, within a week or two, the entire North American industry could fold in upon itself because it just would not be able to operate as a result of the tariffs and because of how integrated it is. And maybe it's that we need to be able to show this president exactly what he is doing and the damage that he is causing to not just Canadian workers, but American workers and to industries that have been for decades building jobs and building plants in both our countries. And the reality is he's been clear. He's after Canadian jobs. He wants production to move south of the border. And that means that Canada must, you know, do everything it can to protect the investments that we have here. And my message to corporations who think that they can just shift production is they're going to have a fight on their hands.
I mean, to hear a statement like that the auto sector in North America could essentially collapse on top of itself within the span of a week, I think that is quite eye-opening to many people. Lana, as someone who's had a seat at the table with these advisory panels and the committees, and I know you were at the conference here in Toronto that the Prime Minister had with, you know, hundreds of business leaders, what does solidarity look like? What does that national unity look like?
I mean, I've seen Canadians come together in the past many weeks, unlike I've seen them come together before. They are going to have to do everything individually and collectively that we can to fight back and send messages. But it also means that we have to come together, business, labor, government, to make sure that we're protecting and building the industries in Canada for the future. That means getting procurement dollars out the door, putting Canadians to work as quickly as possible, and the government has been doing that with a number of announcements in the past weeks. We have to keep doing that. And we have to show Canadians that we can build a more resilient economy with the tools that we have. I would say to you that we also need to restrict foreign ownership, and in particular American ownership of things like critical minerals. We have to do this. We have the levers to do it, and we should do it immediately. And these are the kinds of measures that we can take as a country that will send a message to the United States that we're not just going to stand by and put up with this kind of economic warfare on our country.
Certainly a defining moment, not only in our relationship with the United States, but in Canada's identity as a whole. Lana Payne, the national president for Unifor, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us this morning.
Thank you.
Nick, when you hear Lana talking about procurement, I mean, on the municipal level, we've heard various mayors of big cities talking about it as well. Patrick Brown yesterday. I'll be going to chat with Mayor Olivia Chow at police headquarters coming up in about half an hour's time to see what the city of Toronto plans to do. I mean, she's already asked the city manager to open up the books and look at whether procurement with American companies can be changed, the current contracts, existing ones, and what happens to contracts in the future as well. But certainly a lot of interesting and difficult discussions happening across the country today.
Yeah, everyone's looking at what they can do from their sort of corner of the world as it is. CB24's Beatrice Vaisman live on Front Street. We'll see you soon from police headquarters. B, thanks so much.